Welcome back to today's post-apocalyptic world, October 4th, 2021. And the reason that date is significant is because part of my morning routine, I do some meditation and I do a little bit of reading. And in today's little paragraph from this book, which isn't a scientific book, it was uncannily like entropy that we've been talking about all this time. So to recap, entropy is that great force of the universe that goes from the Big Bang to ultimately complete dissipation, where it's immensely vast and everything looks the same, and even time doesn't exist because there's no moment or thing to compare anything else to. And one of the many interesting and fun things about entropy is that it's very scalable. So what we're observing on the scale of the universe, this flow from order to disorder, we can see it happening again and again within the galaxy, close to the sun, on our Earth, even in your cup of coffee, or when you're mixing up some chicken wing sauce. Things are dissipating from being ordered to dissipated. And it is in that flow of energy from hot to cold to order to disorder that we can actually harness that power, energy. It could be the force from Star Wars if you want to call it that. It doesn't matter. But that is what makes your car go. That is what makes that Stirling engine go from just the energy of the cup of coffee cooling. But anyway, I'm going to have a lot of videos devoted to this concept of entropy and how it really is that force that moves within us to create everything that we see around us. So one of the biggest questions and misconceptions I get about entropy is that, well, if entropy goes from order to disorder, how do we get these beautiful, complex things that we see all around us? That's why we need some kind of a higher power or some kind of a hand of God to come in and kind of organize things. And so that's a misconception, because I'm going to show you exactly how we get order from disorder. And that's one thing I'm super passionate about. So let's try a chess analogy. So if we were to look at just the end part of the game where it's checkmate and we see this beautiful tapestry of ordered complexity, and we know that it happened to be two humans trying to win this game of chess, but also we know that it started at a point where at the beginning of the game, the 32 pieces were all lined up, very well ordered, and then one move at a time, they got to the end game. Similarly, we can look at our planet Earth with all the beautiful life on it and human intelligence and cities and art, and be in awe and wonder, oh my God, how did this get here? So according to entropy, just like the game of chess, it happened one logical step at a time, following the laws of thermodynamics. Like a game of chess has rules, very simple rules. One logical move at a time got it to the final end game that we see. In fact, with chess, it happens very quickly. So I've got some chess math in front of me, and let's say it takes about half an hour to complete a chess game in about, let's say, 30 moves. Using the simple chess rules, there's about 20 moves for the first moves, about 400 moves for the second move, possible moves. And when we get to the 4th or 10th move, there's a billion different ways that that chess game could have come from the same basic rules. Now that may sound like a lot, that 2 minutes into a chess game, you're already looking at billions of possibilities that the chess game could look like. And obviously our Earth and universe is infinitely larger than that. It took infinitely longer to create us, and the rules of thermodynamics are more complex than, let's say, a game of chess. So I'll make this a kind of a quick video. So what's the comparison between a game of chess and our world is that those two humans vying for the win of the chess games, they're using their intelligence to move each piece. So that must mean that there must be like a god or some hand moving everything that we're doing. And this is the fun part, because it is what binds us to the rest of the universe. If we're able to zoom out the camera on those two people playing chess, on the one hand, we can say that it's two humans, they're intelligent, they're playing a game of chess, and it's absolutely beautiful and complex. If we zoom out the camera, we can see that their intelligence is making them making the optimally dissipative move in order to win, whether it's defensive, offensive. They're trying to get the edge, the most impactful move in the shortest amount of time. So that's going to be key to everything we look at in the universe. Entropy wants to go from order to disorder in the shortest amount of time, the quickest amount of time, and in doing so, it's going to do some very complex things. So let's say you're trying to mix something in your coffee cup, you're going to twirl it around until it's homogeneous so you can drink it. Similarly, we see all these galaxies out there, and by the way, there's a lot of galaxies, and they all look similar, and so in a way, we could say that that's kind of like a form of life, right? They're reproducing. It's not just a one-off. Apparently, a galaxy, there's billions and billions of them, and each of these galaxies have nebulae that give birth to billions and billions of stars, and some of these stars have solar systems, and some of these solar systems have planets, and if the conditions are right, more hierarchies of order can occur, such as life and humans, and then these living things make a cup of coffee and heat it up, and inside that cup of coffee is enough entropy and heat that can dissipate and drive a whole engine, and so on and so on. And so I don't know if you can tell that I'm super passionate about this. I love the idea that things get recycled, that no laws or rules are broken for us to be here. Entropy does not discriminate. It is not exclusive of anything or anyone. And we're going to get a lot deeper into this subject. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know, because we're going to go a lot deeper, folks. And maybe I got off into some tangents today, but that's okay, because these videos, these kind of rough, impromptu videos, are helping me organize my thoughts for this book that I'm writing. So let's get back to why I was inspired to make this video today in the first place. And part of my morning routine, I read some things and I meditate. And in this morning's Jesus Calling, October 4th, so this book, the Bible, was written thousands of years ago by men at a time where the earth was still flat and the center of the universe. So everything is very human-centered, even the language. So they'll use words like he or Lord in order to describe this higher power. But let's see if we can find entropy anywhere in here as we've been discussing it. I am the creator of heaven and earth, Lord of all that is and all that will ever be. Although I am unimaginably vast, I choose to dwell within you, permeating you with my presence. Only in the spirit realm could someone so infinitely great live within someone so very small. Be awed by the power and glory of my spirit within you. I'm hearing entropy, entropy, entropy. I mean, everything we've been talking about, I think, pertains to that very nicely. Though the Holy Spirit is infinite, he deigns to be your helper. He is always ready to offer assistance. All you need to do is ask. So this kind of talks about prayer and meditation and how we try to align ourselves with the force of the universe in order to do the next right thing. When the path before you looks easy and straightforward, you may be tempted to go it alone instead of relying upon me. A bit of philosophy there, that if I try to run the show on my own, things may not go so good. This is when you are in the greatest danger of stumbling. Ask my spirit to help you as you go each step of the way. Never neglect this glorious source of strength within you. And then they state John 4:16, John 16:7, Zechariah 4:6. So I think this was a really good example of how we can unite spirituality, philosophy with science, entropy in this case, how, thanks to some recent discoveries, we're more able to model order coming out of disorder and even different forms of life. And we talked earlier about how there's billions of these different galaxies that are the same but different, that were created from the universe, and within each galaxy are nebulae that give birth to stars. What is that if not a form of life? So we're kind of expanding our mind as we're discovering entropy and how we got here, and are we alone? And I'm super excited about it. And that'll be it for today. It was kind of impromptu, but there will be more of these. Please like and subscribe. Ask me questions below. I know this may not be for everybody, but it's my passion. And we will see you next time on Dave's Post-Apocalyptic World.